What's up, Hoopers? It's Coach Alex from THINCPRO Basketball, and in today's video, we're gonna go over 3 reasons why your shot is broke. Let's get started.
I'm curious, George. I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse. I'm ready for war. I'm coming for throats to turn to a ghost. I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver in silence, then let them in, chalk up their body, another one body, that's just how it goes. I got some secrets, I'm shaking the...
Alright guys, well in today's video, we're talking about why your shot is probably broke, and we're gonna go over 3 different reasons on why that's probably the problem. Now, the first thing we're gonna talk about is your legs. You probably have no legs in your shot. That means you're not getting enough momentum, you're not getting enough power behind your jumper when shooting the basketball. What I'm saying this is, a lot of the times when you see that your shot is either short or you're shooting air balls, this probably means you're just either not jumping or you're straight-legged on your shot, you're not getting enough power. So when you're shooting the basketball, you wanna make sure that you're incorporating those legs. So when you go into that shot, you got that knee bend, because all your power and momentum starts from your feet, goes up through your legs. So when I bend, it all comes up here. So when I release and I jump off the ground, I've got the power behind my shot, and all I have to do is finish with my release. So if you're not using your legs, then you're gonna have a problem shooting the basketball. Your shot's gonna be flat, you're gonna start shooting air balls, you're gonna be left, you're gonna be right. You have to make sure you're incorporating the legs into your jumper, because if you aren't, your shot's broke. And that's reason number 1 out of 3. We're gonna go over 2 more reasons, but the first one, add legs to your shot. If your shot is not going in, if you're not having any consistency on your shot, think about your legs and using them more and incorporating. I'm not talking about you have to jump as high as you can, boom, and spring off the ground, but make sure you're just putting some lift into it, adding a little bit of jump, some power, so your shot has a better chance to go in when shooting the basketball. So that's the first thing that we've talked about, your legs. If you don't have legs, you're broke. If you add a little bit in the right amount for you and you're comfortable with it, then your shot, and you will see the consistency with your jumper improve over a period of time.
I'm shaking the game so they stay on their toes. Stay in your lane, how to stay on the go.
Reason number 2 why you could have a broke shot is because you have bad mechanics, meaning you're jerking the basketball. You don't have the legs. Everything that you're going into your shot is not fluid. You don't have a one release, or you don't have a one motion release where you might get up here and you got a hitch, or you might get up here and you're jerking the ball, or things like that. You want to make sure that it's fluid. Again, we just talked about adding our legs into our shots. You have to make sure from going all the way from your legs to your release point, it's all smooth. It's one motion. So when I'm coming up, it's here, boom, and I'm shooting the ball on the way up. Because a lot of people, when they shoot the ball and they use their legs, they'll shoot it on the way down, which tends to mean that your shot's gonna be flat. You can shoot an air ball, you shoot it left, you shoot it right, and that's something that's hard to correct. So you have to make sure that you're adding that, making sure your mechanics are right. Do you have legs? Are your shoulders squared? Are your feet squared? A lot of people may, when they shoot the basketball, maybe they don't want their feet so squared to the basket because it causes tension in their upper body. Like me, I like to have a little tilt in my feet. So you have to make sure your mechanics are right, and that means your mechanics with your shot comes from everything, your legs to being squared, from your feet to your release point. So you have to make sure that it's all together and it's all on point, and it's all in one motion in order to be a successful shooter and to fix your shot if it is broke. So you have to make sure that your mechanics are on point. Think about it, break it down, take your time, do step by step in order to fix it. First thing, do a checklist. Are my feet the way I need them to be? Because shooting the basketball is all about being comfortable. So, are my feet right? Am I having that knee bend? Are my shoulders squared to the basket? Shoulders always got to be squared to your target. Whether you're making a pass, you're dribbling, or you're shooting, your shoulders got to be squared to that direction. After that, boom, is my release? Is it in one motion? Am I jerking the basketball? Do I have a hitch? If not, then I'm good to go. So check your mechanics, because if you have bad mechanics, your shot's broke.
I can play with the pros and act like a rookie, so they overlook me. They're not double up again under their nose.
All right, the last thing we're going to talk about when it comes to fixing your shot, because your shot is broke, is your release. You may have a poor release on your shot. Maybe you're shooting the ball too flat. A lot of the times when I'm teaching kids to shoot the basketball, I'm telling them to get that ball up in the air, get your release up in the air like you're shooting, and reaching your hand into a cookie jar, because if you're shooting that ball flat, that means majority of the time the ball's gonna be flat. You're gonna shoot the ball flat at the rim, may air ball. You wanna get that release. Even if your shot, for you younger players out there, even if your shot comes from your chin or below your chin, you still wanna release that ball up. Give it a chance to go in, because if you're releasing it here, then that means it's just gonna be flat. You wanna release and get your arc up in the air. So if your release is poor, maybe you do have that that jerk in your shot where you're hitching it or whatever. Maybe your release is poor because of rotation on the ball. You want to make sure when you release that there's that spin on the ball. So if you're shooting it on the laces, on the seams on the shot, excuse me, you want to make sure there's a good release. If you see that ball is doing some sideways stuff or it's a backspin, then you have a problem with your release. Maybe you're getting too much thumb in it, or the ball is coming off of your palm, or you're coming off of your pinky and your ring finger, which you don't want. You want it to come off here. You know, you want to make sure when you're shooting on your release that you have the pocket between your hand and the ball. If you can get something in there, that's perfect, right? So if your release is poor, then that's going to mess up your shooting ability. It's going to mess up the consistency on your shot. So you have to make sure your release is good. So again, starts with your legs. Everything with your shot starts with your legs, builds into your mechanics on your jumper, and ends with your release. So you have to check those 3 things off when shooting the basketball, because if they're all off, your shot's broke. That's how it's gonna be. If they're all on point, your shot's on point. Simple as that.
None of them cold. They just got lucky but never adapted. So I'm to the one if it's coming to blows.
All right, Hoopers, well, there's the 3 reasons why your shot is probably broke. But I also gave you some tips to help you think about and fix it so it isn't. Now, if you like today's video, do me a favor, click the like button. Also, we would love if you left a comment. Let us know what you think of this video and a video you may want to see in the future, because what we're trying to do here at THINCPRO Basketball is provide the opportunity and knowledge to help you take your game to the next level. So if you want us to help you, also make sure that you click that subscribe button and join the THINCPRO Basketball family, because we are releasing brand new great content every single week to help you improve your game. So make sure before you leave today that you click that subscribe button and join us. Now, until I see you again next time, go fix your broke jumper and turn it into a pretty one. And until I see you again next time, remember to always keep hooping. See you next time.
I'm ready for war. I'm coming for throws to turn to a ghost. I need to know everything.